Namaste Sannyasa family and everyone. Welcome to this daily live meditation session with me Dhyanse. We're meditating on 112 meditation techniques of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. Master Linchi, he used to love boats. He had a small boat in a lake where there was no one, in a silent lake. He used to spend hours and hours in that boat, meditating in that boat all by himself, where there was no one, and he was always in his boat enjoying his meditations, day-long, night-long meditations in the boat in a silent lake. But one day something happened which transformed his life, and he shares this story with his disciples, his learnings from this situation in what happened at the lake with his disciples. He says, one night I was meditating with my eyes closed in the boat, completely in my own world. And the boat was somewhere in the lake, and suddenly another boat came and struck my boat. I immediately broke out of my silence, out of my meditation, and anger arose in me. So much anger arose in me that I was in so deep silence. I was at peace. I was somewhere in bliss. And suddenly this person cannot see he's hitting my boat. He opened his eyes and he saw the boat was empty. The boat was empty. It somehow just came and struck the boat of Master Linchi. That moment transformed Master Linchi's life. He said, in that moment when I was in deep anger, when I had already projected all my anger on the person who was not able to see how he or she was driving the boat, I saw that there was no one. I saw the boat was empty. The anger was there, but what was the source of that anger? Was the source of this anger the other person, which was just a projection of my own mind, or was the source of this anger me, myself? That moment, even after all the meditation that Master Linchi had done, that moment transformed, that awareness that this source of the anger, the source of this emotion, the source of this mood is me, myself. There is no one there to trigger that. The boat is empty. It is my own projection. Meditate over this story, contemplate over this message from Master Linchi, because this is something which is very much required for us in the life that we live. We all go through rise and fall of emotions, moods, all this what we are experiencing. You cannot eliminate all the moods. You cannot eliminate all the emotions, but you can use them as an opportunity to learn about yourself, to meditate. You can use every opportunity in your life, be it good times, be it bad times, be it love, be it hatred, be it happiness, be it sadness. You can always learn from that. Be reflective, be aware in those moments. And today's session is about those reflections which are not just in the moments of meditation here for a few minutes, but the takeaway from this session is for your entire life, is an awareness, is a reflection on your entire life, moment by moment, while you're going through all these flows of emotions and moods. Let us listen to what Bhairava has to say, has to give us in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra as a technique to practice, not just in the session, but also outside the session in your daily life. technique in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra is, when an emotion or a mood arises, do not address it, but remain centered, aware of the source. When an emotion or a mood arises, do not address it, but remain centered, aware of the source. Very simple technique, very simple message, but very difficult to implement in our life. But we have to start somewhere. We have to begin this process of transformation somewhere. If you have been carrying all these emotions, hatred, anger, jealousy, and all those moods that always bring you down, and you're constantly addressing them on the other, this is the opportunity. This session, this vibration of this session allows you to first of all reflect on it, to be aware of it, and take this awareness in your life whenever these situations arise. So the first part of this technique, which is very important, is do not address it. When anger, hatred, anything arises, any emotion, any mood arises, the first thing that we do is to address it. We project it on the other. We project it on the trigger. There may be any triggers from the outside, but to project it on the outside, to address it on the outside, is where the hell starts to happen. Søren Kierkegaard, a Danish philosopher, he said as well that the other is the hell. The other is the hell. What that means is, the moment you create the other, the moment you create a projection of your emotion, the moment you create a projection of your mood as if it is the other, then everything goes into hell. Everything goes into the wrong direction, where you never take the responsibility of what you're experiencing. See, throughout Tantra, the message is you are the creator of your creations. You are not just the creation of some god, of somebody else, which you can blame for whatever you are experiencing in life. You are the creator. You are the God yourself who's creating whatever experiences are happening in your life. So see that you must take responsibility for your spiritual growth, for whatever aspects of your life you're facing, and take that responsibility by first of all not immediately addressing it onto the other. That's the first thing you could do. But remain centered. That's the second part of the technique. But remain centered. Centered to observe that intensity, that emotion, that mood. Make use of every situation. The emotion of sadness arises. Observe this sadness. Don't try to somehow patchwork it. Don't try to put it under the carpet. Don't try to suppress it or manage it. Observe it. Observe it so carefully. Observe, what is this sadness? What is this anger? What is this hatred? What is this jealousy? Don't read about it in books. Get that first-hand taste in your awareness, in your observation. What is it really? And you will see that you will start to understand yourself better. It will all point out to the source. It will say, the technique, the last part of the technique says, aware of the source. So you become aware of the source from where all this is arising. And you will see it's all your energies. Your energies that are manifesting in different shapes, different forms, different containers. When you see that you are the source, there is an empowerment. The first empowerment, that when you are creating a negative emotion, you can also create a positive emotion. That empowerment, that whatever is happening to your life is your own creation, is the change, is the first step in that transformation. The second is to understand the nature of this container. The message here is not that anger is bad, or hatred is bad, or something is good, or something should be, something should not be. The message is observe this container. Observe this container of whatever emotion arises in you. It could be also very strong happiness, very strong positive emotion, or a negative emotion. That's not the point of the technique. The technique here is to observe that and to be in that intensity, to observe it fully, remaining aware. Then what to do? If that energy has already risen, be in that container, what to do? Gurdjieff, another master, another powerful master who transformed lots of lives, he learned something from his father while the father was on his deathbed. Gurdjieff was 9 years old when the father was dying. He called Gurdjieff to his next to him, and he said, "I have nothing to give you. I have no riches, no wealth to give you. But there is something I can tell you. You can take it now and keep it to yourself. And as you grow older, as you become mature, utilize that, meditate over it, bring this into your life, this message into your life, which you may not understand now." And the message was, if someone creates anger in you, you do not react. You go for a couple of days away from that situation. You move away from that situation, and after few hours, after 24 hours, 48 hours, if you feel that you need to react, you react. You come back, you need to react, you react. Otherwise, in most cases, you will see that anger or that emotion has subsided. And this transformed Gurdjieff's life. This message transformed lots of his students, his disciples' life. But this challenge of this emotion, of this anger, of this hatred, of this jealousy does not even end with this message of Gurdjieff, because there are situations where the container just cannot just be empty just like that. When the energy has risen into a pocket, into a container where there is no turning back, then the ultimate, you have to learn to transform that. You have to learn to channel that energy. You have to learn to transform that energy. It could be done physically by doing some sort of physical workout, some fitness. Go for a long run, go for a long walk. Do something physically to release that energy. It could be any form of energy that you have collected, but you need to release that physically. That could be one way. The other way could be to give creative outlets, paint, dance, create some music, do something creative to transform, to channel that energy that you have that has somehow found the wrong pocket, the wrong container, but you can transform, you can channel that. If you don't do that and the energy still remains in you even after several hours, then this is going to become a poison for you. It is going to remain as a poison in you. So few things that you could do to deal with this process, this rise and fall of emotions, rise and fall of moods. The first is to observe, is to remain aware, to see that you are the source. Because with that knowledge, with that observation, what happens is you, for the next time when that arises, you remember that you are the source. And before it even arises, you can be aware of the potency. This is very, very significant to understand that before even the mood arises in your awareness, in your consciousness, you can be aware of the potency of something happening. This sense, this sixth sense, which is beyond the mind, which is in your awareness, you can utilize to deal with this rise and fall of emotions, of all these moods, because before even they arise, you can be aware of the potency if you are aware enough. So that's the first step, to remain aware throughout this process. Second is to see that you are the source. Third is to recognize even before this arises the potency of it. Fourth, if you are if you are still continuing with that energy, find its creative outlet, find its release in a physical form or some sort of creative work. So this message you can take in your meditation, take in your daily life as well. For now, for today's meditation, what we will do is we'll simply observe ourselves. Whatever emotion, whatever mood we are carrying right now, anything, any feeling, any contents in your consciousness, we'll simply observe that and see that we are the source. To recognize, to acknowledge that we are the source of everything that is happening in us. Let us close our eyes and take a posture that is comfortable for you. Breath flowing in and out at its own pace. Your body at rest, in balance. And awareness turn inwards. Observing your inner space. Being aware of the emotion, of the mood, of any contents in your consciousness, in your inner space. as your awareness settles, observe your mood, your emotion, the contents of your consciousness. Whatever is rising in your consciousness, go to its source. The feeling, the mood, go to its source. From all directions, go to the source of your experience. all your awareness towards the source of your experience right now. And leave all effort, all focus, and simply remain silent, allowing your energies to reorganize, your awareness to expand or move or remain still. Remaining aware and silent in the center of it all. And very gently and slowly, you may open your eyes, remaining aware of the experience of this moment, remaining aware of the source of this experience, of this moment, and taking this awareness, this silence in your day. If you have any questions on this journey, on this spiritual path, you're more than welcome to raise these questions in our community, so that not only you but all of us can learn through those questions, through those experiences. If you're not yet a part of our community but have this calling of leading this life more authentically, being more reflective, being more contemplative, being more self-aware on a path which is an unfoldment of your consciousness and liberation of your energies. If this resonates to you, you're more than welcome to join our community of meditators. If you're interested, please write me an email with your introduction, with your reason, your calling for the community, and what can you give back to the community. Thank you very much. Namaste.